Hey guys, it's Abby. I'm back with another video, and today I decided to do my a wrap up and currently reading, just because the wrap up would be really short because I haven't read that much recently. So I'm just gonna tell you guys the last couple things that I've read, and then I'll tell you what I'm currently reading and kind of how I feel about those things that I am currently reading. I have read about 3 books this month. Has it been this month? Yes, I read 3 books this month, and I really enjoyed all of them actually, which is crazy that I've actually even read that much this month, just because I haven't been reading at all. So I'm just surprised I finished anything at all this last 4 months. So the first book that I finished this month I briefly talked about before, and that is Beloved by Toni Morrison. I really loved this. I read it for a class and I loved discussing it. I felt like it was an awesome book to read in American literature too. I felt like it really sums up the more, 20th century? Yeah, the 20th century literature, and I just thought it was so cool. Really cool magical realism. I loved this book. It was really interesting. If you've read it, I'd love to talk about it. It was so fun to discuss this in class. And if you want to know what it's about, it's really complicated, but it's kind of like a post-slave narrative, because this woman, Sethi, escapes slavery. She has 4 children, and things happen, and it's based off of it's kind of based off a true story, and then she obviously took all sorts of liberties with it, but it was inspired by the story of a slave woman who escaped, and they came back to take her back to the plantation where she was a slave once she escaped to the north. And because she didn't want her children to live a life of slavery, she ended up murdering them all. And so that is slightly based off of that, if that sounds intriguing to you at all. And it follows Sethi and her daughter Denver and this guy named Paul D, and then there's a ghost involved, and you will just have to figure out the rest, but it is so good. I really liked this. I guess it's a classic. It's more of a contemporary modern classic, but I really loved this one. I gave it 5 stars, I think. 4 or 5. 4 just because I knew that if I read this on my own, I probably wouldn't have understood it quite as well as I did when I read it in the class. The next one I finished was I read parts of it, and then I just ended up listening to the whole thing in my car because I do a lot of driving. So the book that I listened to, which I've hardly ever listened to books just because I don't usually enjoy it. The book that I listened to was A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas, whatever her name is. I know I'm literally a year behind, and that the other one just got voted best fantasy book of the year or whatever, so I'm way back on the trend, but I really had fun listening to this. It was a pretty good book to listen to. I obviously jumped around. I didn't listen to it all at once, and I got a little bored sometimes, but that's just because you're sitting in a car for so long, you're just, you lose your train of thought and all that. So I really loved this. I'm sure everybody knows what it's about. I am glad that it wasn't too Beauty and the Beast I thought it was going to be, and it wasn't, which is good because I would just kind of get tired of that plot. So obviously in the beginning it felt very Beauty and the Beast-ish, and then it just totally went in a totally different direction, and so much happened in this book. I read it, or I listened to it, and my mom listened to it, and she kind of spoiled something in the end for me, so I kind of knew what was going to happen, but I had no idea all that was going to happen. And it was kind of long, but I don't know if that's just because I was listening to it. So I really thought it was good. I'm excited to read or listen to the second one, just because I'm excited to see what happens to Farah and Tamlin and everything, and so much was left untalked about. So I'm excited to see what happened with all this unfinished business. So I gave this 4 out of 5 stars just because the romance was a little forced to me. It just seemed a little extra. I didn't really feel their emotional connection as much as I felt their physical connection, which is fine, but I would have preferred it to be a little more emotion driven and less sex driven. And then the last thing that I read this month so far we're holding out hope for the rest of this month because I'm officially done with finals, so I have all the time in the world to read. But I finished Fresh Romance, which is a graphic novel it's an anthology, so it's by several authors. This is the first volume, and so there's a bunch of different stories in it, so you can see kind of different art styles. Oh, that's the same story. There's all these different, did I read that one? Yes, I did. Okay. I thought I missed something. All these different art styles in it. It was so good. It's just all about different types of romances, super diverse and inclusive. Really interesting stories. They've got like some fantasy elements in it and some are like period pieces. Really cool. I'm excited to read the other volumes just because like these were just really, really fun, and I loved seeing the different art styles. And then at the end of every story, they had like these questions with the authors and the artists and like all that kind of stuff. So that was cool if you're interested in like knowing about the process of how these people created these stories, and that is probably something really cool if you're like into, you know, doing your own graphic novel type of stuff. So I really loved that. Then my current reads that I'm reading are ones that I hope to finish at least 2 of these by the end of the month. I'm not gonna reach my goal of 50 books for the year. I think I'm at 40, so like there's just no way I'm gonna get to 10 books before January 1st. Like that's not happening, but I'm still super proud of like how far I've come. I'll make a whole separate video about my reading challenge and my like overview of my reading year, and then I'll also do a video about like my reading goals for next year and like what I want to read in the next year, so stay tuned for that. But the things that I'm currently reading is I'm reading this graphic novel, Zodiac Star by the Power of Astra, and it's just a bunch of teenaged girls who are these like superheroes with powers. I haven't gotten too far into it. The art is what I really, really love. I just love this style. Oh, it's so pretty. And I think I sense some lesbian tension in here, so I'm excited to get to that too. And it's really cute. I'm enjoying whatever I've read so far. I could literally finish this in one sitting, so we'll see, and then I'll see if there's other ones that I want to purchase from this series as well. So I'm enjoying this one so far. Then this one I've been reading for quite a while, and I literally keep telling you guys that I'm reading. What page am I on? Did I lose my spot? Dang it. I don't even know where I was in this book. I really need to finish it, but that is As I Descend by Robin Talley. I'm really enjoying it and really liking it. I don't know why I haven't finished it. It's a retelling of Macbeth featuring LGBT characters and disabled characters and just like really inclusive. And they go to a private boarding school in Virginia, and some crazy stuff is going on. There's framing, and there's drugs, and there's potential deaths and all kinds of crazy stuff. So it's gotten like really intense, and I really, really was liking it. I just don't remember where I was, and somehow I lost my bookmark, so that sucks. Hopefully I don't spoil myself trying to find where my place was. But I'm really liking it. It is really inclusive. It's different, and the way that it switches perspectives is really strange. It doesn't really let you know. Each chapter is a different perspective, but it's also in third person. So it's like third person, but you know everybody's thoughts and feelings, but you're definitely not learning some stuff. So it's, I don't know, it's a little crazy, but I'm into it. I've never read anything else by Robin Talley, just because nothing else has interested me from her, but this was super cool. So I'm glad, and I'm excited to read the rest of it because it's getting spooky. These next 2 books I mentioned in my recent haul, I think. Yes, I did. And I have been reading more of them than before, but I'm pretty much probably going to say about the same things just because I don't want to spoil anything. But I'm reading Ruby Fruit Jungle by Rita Mae Brown. Really loving this one, like so much. I feel like this is going to be one of my favorite books when I finish it, as long as it like doesn't get, you know, ruined or anything like that. But I'm loving this book so much. It was written in the 70s, and it's about a coming of age of this girl and coming to terms with her sexuality, and it is so good and funny, but also raw and emotional, and you really feel like you are living this girl's life, and I love that, and that's like talent right there. So I'm just excited to finish it. Like this one, I like don't want to know or think about anything except like what's gonna happen next. I'm really excited. And then the last one that I'm currently reading, I also mentioned my other one, and that is Georgia Peaches and Other Forbidden Fruit by J. Robin Brown. This one is so cute, and it's just like a fluffy romance, and that's what, like, you know, I've been wanting like a fluffy, happy romance about 2 girls, but someone always ends up freaking dying in a romance about 2 girls. So this one's fun just because you know that like it's fluffy, it's contemporary, it's exactly what I wanted, but it's got 2 girls. And I think it also covers some heavier stuff about religion, but like I'm just excited to see, because she's pretending to be straight and then she falls in love with this girl, and that's just, I'm so excited. Reading is something I really want to do right now because I've officially done finals, and so like my mind is back in the like reading for fun instead of reading for school. So I am excited to read this one, and I haven't heard much about it, so I'm excited. But basically that is it. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope I get some more reading done. I hope you guys are kicking it in your last little legs of the reading year. I'm excited to do those like end of the year, new year videos, because those are always like really fun to watch and do. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.